There we go. Yeah, so pretty much I want to see USD CAD sweep this wick here, just like it's doing. But again, the test is going to be on that wick fill. Do we continue pushing higher, or are we going to revert lower from there? And vice versa on GJ. I need to see the breakdown, or is it going to base and go for a breakout? And again, these are pretty straightforward setups. You know, you can't be confused on, you know, where the direction is. You have two confirming pairs, USD to the upside, GJ to the downside, and as long as that remains, you know, the current pattern, that you're going to be able to take those sales on SPX potentially. So, so Bitcoin again should be coming down with SPY, as it kind of is. The drop you see here on Bitcoin looks a lot steeper than the one we had. Than the one we just had on SPY, but for the most part, same pattern and direction. GJ has been getting super tight up here, as you can see. So when this move breaks, it should be a pretty clean one. Again, we want to see the downside. So these three here move in sync. Gold should also move in sync. I'm sure you heard the comments on gold. The only reason I don't like it a lot for the sells is because we never swept his liquidity, and I'm scared they might sweep it when the SPX does crash. Let's say the first major red day SPX has from up here, you might see a massive spike in gold to sweep that liquidity before driving lower. If that's not the case, then technically we don't have to sweep that liquidity, and this leg here could deliver this move down from here. But again, they're all for the most part moving in sync as they should be. They all look proper for some sells. Oil's been selling, you know, pretty decently as well. But the thing we want to see here is a break of this floor that we have not been able to do.
Okay.
So this is, let's see. I guess monthly works fine. So this is the area we're testing right now. It goes back to 2021. This is where we broke out from. And this is what we're testing. If they fail to hold this floor, you have a massive range to the downside. But this has been a super choppy, slow trade. But for the most part, the trend has been lower. And now testing critical support. If they do manage to bounce, you have this wick here. But I don't really like trading oil. Just the point is the markets trend together. So if we can start getting that downtrend here and this break of support on SPX, that would be ideal for the sells. But again, you want to be careful. So these are the same exact levels from yesterday. You have your sell side, which we have not swept. Let's get rid of the magnet. So you have your sell side here. You have not swept it yet at 64.35.2. I'm using the CFD for SPX 500. And then this was the level we were watching yesterday, the previous daily low. Yeah. Previous monthly high. Bounced right off of it. You have resistance up here, so it's a pretty tight range. You have your resistance, you have your support. Ideally, if you're looking for a sell, you would want to short higher into resistance, like here. If you want to buy into here, in the middle of the range, you don't do much. I do not buy anything that is at the middle of a range, because that's literally a coin flip. You have no advantage to the buy side or sell side. So for now, we're just going to wait. If they do manage to breach the sell side, which is a previous monthly high around 64.42, then you want to see. Yeah, do you want me to use SPY values? Do you plan on trading SPY? Because I could do the same exact cover up on SPY. It's the same thing to me. But do you want me to do SPY so you have exact values?
I do long term with the SPYs, and then I watch the. You know, I know that you look at the SVX, so I try to get. You know, I try to learn them all.
Okay. But, just because I know since I'm using the Wanda CFD, it might be slightly different, you know, numbers. So I just want you to keep that in mind. If you're trading, you know, ES or something else, it's going to be slightly off in terms of the values. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't want you to go, you set these orders with these specific numbers and, you know, your ticker is trading 5 points higher or something.
Yeah. No, I'll look at them. I'll pull it up right now.
All right. Sounds good. So, zoom out. So yeah, pretty much like I said, pretty straightforward setup. You don't want to do too much or anything at all really in this range. If we manage to get the breakdown again, we should see some nice continuation. You have your first sell side target here and much lower targets. But again, the number one thing I'm watching today. So again, that's the thesis. If we trend lower, break lower, we have that clean sell side. The setup's there. The only thing I want to be checking on today to confirm that idea, other than, you know, the SPX itself, is GJ. So again, we wanted to see this reverse off of this resistance zone, doing well pretty far. Now I want to see if it could lose the point of control, which is here, literally where we are testing. If it manages to lose that point of control, this is going to be your sell side, and this is your trigger for the real leg down. So yesterday, no, not yesterday, this was last week. Yesterday we bounced off the zone. This is what I want to see break down from, and that will confirm the higher time frame sells. And as for USD CAD, look, we already got that target. So great. Liquidity met. Now is just a matter of, do we stay above or are we going to revert lower from the zone?
Okay.
But super straightforward setups. You have more than two confirming pairs, which one would be USD CAD right now confirming for those sells. GJ looks like it's going to confirm sells as well in a second. And I don't mean USD CAD confirming sells like take sales on it, just like sells on the market. But yeah, so GJ confirming sells here. Hopefully we get the breakdown. SPX 500 can hopefully give us a flip. See how the NAS is looking. The NAS actually looks a little cleaner, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Let's see if we have some liquidity. Let's see. The only thing with NAS is it already swept the lows. SPX has not. But yeah.
Yeah.
They both look decent, but now I'm gonna probably stick to SPX. So that's pretty much a setup for today. You said you have GS and a couple long-term SPY.
Yeah, I have the long-term spies and and and, and two GSs. I was waiting for Meta to pop again, but
Okay.
yeah,
So last week I took a trade on Walmart. It paid pretty well.
yeah,
Got about $3 on it. Those were pretty cheap, so they paid decent. They have earnings on Thursday. I believe it's pre-market.
right, yeah,
So that should be a decent one. I want to take a decent trade on Walmart, but I'm gonna wait until after earnings. If we
okay,
get, hopefully, you know, a pop to these highs and sweep it, I'll more than gladly
yeah,
re-short into here. But since I just caught this move, you know, I'm not gonna re-short here just or take longs. It's just, you know, too much of a gamble into earnings. This paid decent. If I can re-short above here, I will. Other than that, I'm not gonna do too much on it. But it was an interesting setup. So if you look at the chart, you know, pretty much into all-time highs. The only thing I will say,
yeah,
these are equal highs. So maybe they do try to sweep them. We'll see. In comparison to Target, you know, it's a completely different chart. So if we can get
right,
a similar move like the one we had on Target on Walmart, that's gonna be you know, a pretty great sell in my opinion. So I'm trying to position for that one. I'm not the biggest fan of the pricing on it, but it's decent. So that's an opportunity. EFA, I think you traded with me last time. It did okay. I'm just not the biggest fan of the liquidity on it. But that
oh,
one's
okay,
setting up nicely here into the highs for a potential sell. GE, this one I think was, I didn't mention this one to you, but I've been waiting for this buy side liquidity to be filled, just so you can see how, you know, it repeats itself all the time in the markets. You had this wick
yeah,
left, we filled the buy side. That same day, after we filled the buy side, you had this massive move to the downside, paid pretty well. J&J, I mentioned to you yesterday. I'm not sure if you took any, but this one's doing okay. And hopefully if we come fill this downside liquidity, I can continue to get paid. Today I'm watching the sells below trigger. If we can break below, so basically break below yesterday's session lows, we should see some continuation to the downside. This would be our first target, and then second target would be down here. But again, J&J is super cheap, so should pay pretty
Yeah.
well if we do get those targets. I've done really well on J&J before. I shared this back, where was it? I think when we were up here, or I'm not sure exactly when, but I shared it back in Nick's room, and then some shorts, and then overnight there was some news on some lawsuit drop. I don't know. Point is, J&J pays pretty well when you catch it in a decent trend. So if we do break down from here, you should have a clean move on that. And again, they're super cheap. Would have been ideal yesterday, just because premiums are going to be up a bit. I don't want you chasing, but I'll let you know what premiums look like at the open. And if it's
Okay.
still valid, you can maybe try taking that.
I got two of them.
Oh, you got two? All right, great, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so GS, this is the area we broke down from into the south side liquidity, which was this wick from
Yeah.
here. So if we manage to stay below that level at 732.50, let's say, we can
Yeah.
maybe see a next leg low or something like this. But if at any point we do start pushing above that 732.55, you would definitely want to be careful holding on to those puts. So like I said, ideally, as long as all the pairs check out, let's check up on them real quick. We should be okay for sales today, but you want to, just make sure everything is aligning. So here is USD CAD. I'll zoom in each one. This might be too small to see. So again, we swept liquidity. Now we are seeing two small wicks having a rejection here. Again, we need to see a
Mm-hmm.
break and continuation higher, or this can come back down from these levels. As far as GJ, sales are doing well. We broke down below the area we wanted to see. Now we just need continuation to the downside and remain below these levels. If you get both of those things on USD CAD and GJ, more likely than not, you will see that breakdown on SPX, which it looks like it's trying to form here. We have rejection here. And now if we continue to push down, we can come target this wick, and you already have that bearish candle forming right now on the fresh 45-minute candle. If we see, continuation to the downside and some follow through, this would be your first target, maybe potential pop small before new lows. But ideally, if we do break below previous monthly highs, like I said, this can have a solid drive to the downside. And if you look left, there's not much support. You have this entire
Wow.
cluster down here, yes, but that is much, much lower. So this would be your first potential support. And the bottom of the base and wick fill into here is way down into the previous weekly lows at 63.68. So I'm not saying we have
Okay.
to catch all that. I'm not saying it's all going to happen today, but if it does confirm, which it is doing so far, you can see, obviously really good returns capturing this move. And now you've asked me about time projections and how I do all that. So there's a lot of different tools you can use. This one here specifically is the GAM box. The GAM box, I don't think is designed for this. I edited it. So you're supposed to get price and time levels. So it's basically fibs on the price horizon and on the time horizon. But I use the other tool for fibs. So I just turn this off, and this gives you the time extensions. You could set, different prices like 1618, etc. But I just have it set to, simple extensions, one price extension to 1.5, etc. So how would you use this? I want to capture this move on the right side, right?
Yeah.
Ideally. So let's draw this out. How long did this take? We get this move. We want to see that same move, let's say from here. So this is about this, right? You would get this
Mm-hmm.
tool from the low, which is here, and then you would line it up with the high, which is here. Or you could use this first high. Whoops. So I'm lining it up with this first, the high here and the low. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move this over to where we currently are, which is about here. Now I have my time extension and projection. So I hand sketched this roughly, trying to guess, just by visual, and I wasn't too far off. So here is your one time extension. If you want to play it safe, you could get a little more time. Whoops. You could get a little more time into that second extension or 1.5 or whatever time may be. But the one lines up with Wednesday. So if you want to get short today, a little bit of today expiry, a little bit of tomorrow expiry. So let's say today's expiration, you capture it down and move into here. Overnight, we sell some more, you close out into here, etc. Don't know. But again, assuming this triggers and confirms, we should see these lows potentially and hopefully by Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. ish, or maybe, during the day. You don't want to, assume this is perfect. You got to give yourself a bit
Right.
of breathing room. So again, if you want to do some for today, some for tomorrow, some weeklies, you can. But the 1.5 aligns with Thursday and the 2 with this weekend. So again, that's how you would do that. And you can do this for larger moves as well. So if I
Okay.
really wanted to capture this entire move, you would do the same thing. How long did this take? Low to high. These are your levels. Just go ahead and move it into the high. And then you get your time extensions. Tuesday the 26th, second time extension. Friday, September the 5th. And then your fourth would be all the way out to, this does not want to show a date. Let's go to weekly. The fourth would be out to Monday, October the 6th. So
Okay.
again, maybe assuming right off the bat, based off what I'm showing you, if you want to capture the move all the way down to these lows, maybe by Monday the 6th, we might get there. So loading bi-weekly puts, loading monthly puts, if we get this breakdown here, is decent.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like to do when I mentioned to you, I don't think I've talked to you too much about pyramiding or layering your trades. I do that more for Forex, but you can do
Oh,
it
okay.
well on options as well. So for example, this setup here on SPY, let's do a 45-minute. Let's say we get these patterns we're discussing, right? You have a potential option, a couple ways of playing it. What do you have right now, the Octobers, or what are you holding?
I have September's and October's,
Okay,
and
so that's already a good start. Ideally, what you can do to actively trade this, you told me you take X amount of money on your day trades, X amount of money on swings. So one potential idea you can do here for a trade, if we do confirm, you would do a couple different sets. So again, ideally to get on the swings a little higher would have been great, but you're not paying too much more premium here. That's fine. You can still capture, all this moves to the downside. So what you
yeah.
would do is, like I mentioned, if you want to grab some for today, some for Wednesday, some for Friday, you can do that. But if you just want to make it, a little easier on yourself, another thing you can do is some weeklies, and then you could buy some. I wouldn't say monthlies because you already have monthlies, but you could do bi-weeklies and then monthlies if you didn't have them. So you take profits on all of them. Let's say we come into these lows. The weeklies might be up, I don't know, I'm gonna just make up numbers. Let's say 300% or more. The bi-weeklies are up 100%. These are up 50% or 30 or something.
Right.
As you come into your targets, you would do the same thing I mentioned, take 75, 85% of your profits. If it's into a
Yep.
TP, you would take full, but let's say you take 75, 85% of the 300%. You take at least 50% on these, or 75, whatever, you take some more on these. If we do get the continuation, these already paid, they're booked. That trade is already handled. These you were already risk-free, hopefully. And if not, you already took a decent amount of profits. By the time you get this
Right.
continuation lower, if you get it, these are going to be worth a lot more, and you're not going to
Yeah.
be, entering down here next week. Let's say the
Right.
weekend's
Right.
here, next week you're going to be wanting to buy puts when you could have loaded those same puts up here for half the cost. So that's one thing you want to start doing, thinking ahead and not being so focused on
Yeah.
trading day by day, because sometimes when you're
Right.
focused on those daily moves, you don't capture the large move.
Can stress out.
Yeah, next week when we're crashing 2% a day, you're like, oh damn, I should have bought puts, versus you bought the puts a week ago. Now you're literally just looking at the screen every once in a while, managing, making sure everything looks right, but you're already in those positions, you're already super green. So even if you get a 25-15% pullback on the options
Yeah.
premiums, you're still green. So it's a big difference going from 100% to 75% on the profits, or 50, for example, versus your
Right.
25-50% down on the position. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I would try to do. Like I said, you already have
I.
some. If you want to add some weeklies, uh, one thing I wouldn't do, which you can, is try trading zero DTs too much. I get it; you can get those ridiculous returns if
Yeah.
it
I
moves
get.
big.
I just
But
watch. Yeah, I watched you do it a couple times. It got me excited, but that's really
no,
where I lose most of the money.
but I don't
Yeah.
do it with size, it's minimal size
Yeah.
compared to the positions I'm taking, so it's
Right.
not a big deal. And even myself,
Yeah.
I refrain from doing it majority of the time, just because
Okay.
it's super. If I know the trade's gonna hit by Friday, why
Yeah.
risk it today? Just throw it on that weekly, or even 1-2 day expiration
Right.
is best. At least
Yeah.
at least 1 day to expiration would be ideal, but up to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we get those
Yeah.
breakdowns, that's something you can try to position for.
Put some time on the clock. Yeah.
Yeah. So GJ still breaking down. Let's see the dollar. Look, that's great actually here.
Oh, it broke. Okay, I see it.
So this is actually amazing here. USD CAD is pushing, which is beautiful. Now we just need to see that continuation lower here on GJ, which honestly I think we're gonna get. So right off the bat into the
Nice.
open, ideally we want to see this move to the downside. And then as far as scanning, you asked me how I scan my stocks. For the most part, like I told you, I already have a list of stocks
Yeah.
I'm trying to trade. But generally,
Right.
like let's say I already know AVGO is at the highs, or Google or whatever, you kind of already know where they are in mind. One thing I will do is have extended hours here, and then I'll come see which one is up the most if I'm looking to short, or
Yeah.
something like that. Like LLY paid pretty well on this move. I didn't take it for some reason, which I was upset
Oh
about,
yeah.
just because I always take LLY. And that day I decided not to. I think it paid like over 50x on the weeklies. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm sure.
But yeah,
Yeah.
LLY is one of the up the most in pre-market session. EFA, like I said, uh, it looks really clean on the setup. I just wouldn't throw too much size on it because of liquidity issues. It's not like it has liquidity issues. It's just not as liquid as something like SPY. But it trades
Right.
decent. I've made some nice money on it. Walmart, like I said, I'm not gonna touch at the moment. Coca-Cola
I
looks decent, but there's a lot of
want
decent
MA.
setups.
Yeah.
Nvidia, I had not taken a look at actually.
Yeah. Market Chameleon says it's 725 million to 166 puts.
Oh damn.
So.
See, so this is an amazing move on IBM. I don't know why the
Oh.
rest of the semis have not done this yet. If I'm being honest with you, this is ideally what I would want to see on semis. Again, don't know if we'll get it, but
Yeah.
this is ideally what I want to see. So same exact, I literally just copy pasted this from the AVGO, sorry, from the IBM setup, and maybe we can get this. Now that I look at this across different names, AVGO is leading to the downside. NVIDIA is not broken down. If you see that, it's still sitting near the highs.
Yeah.
So NVIDIA might be a decent play today. I just hate the IV. You know how I feel about IV.
Yeah.
I'm not, maybe I'll take a little bit of size. Where's TSM? Okay. I'll see. I might take a jab at those. I'll let you know if I do, but
Okay,
NVIDIA
sounds
actually
good.
looks decent. GS is also going to be a potential play here. You already have some, so that's great. You don't
Yeah,
have to do too much on that. But ideally, like I said, we want to stay below the sell side and get that next leg lower, targeting the previous weekly low. And then the next low you want to see hit swept is at sell side liquidity at 694. But if that 700 level is lost, like I'm pretty sure you know what's
yeah,
going next. So pretty thin
yeah,
layer of support below this. If we sweep below 700 and stay below, you have this massive range to target. You said you only have 2 weeks on those GS, huh?
yeah. I think I just looked at. I have 3 for the 29th.
Okay, that's decent. That's fine. Just yeah, like I said, focusing on this move here is great because this is step one. But
Yeah,
if you can think ahead and get yourself positioned for the next potential legs, that's gonna be, even better. And you don't have to take GS. So just pick one
yeah,
name, whether it's SPY, GS, whatever name you like. Just make sure it's, you're getting a bang for your buck. So SPY is probably one of the better bets just because of IV. But if you do
right,
get
of
these moves
course.
down, like I said, the next few weeks you can be pretty stress free because you're already holding and green, and you're gonna be rewarded, pretty well. So just even to a move down to the sell gap at the 786, you're talking about more than $15 move, $20
Yeah,
move plus if we get all the way to the downside. So again, you don't have
yeah,
to capture every single thing, but if you can capture a big chunk of this, you're gonna get rewarded for it. So that's gonna
yeah.
be
The
the
VIX
goal
has got to
today.
do something.
Yeah. So we're sitting at the lows today on UVXY, swept yesterday's sell side liquidity, so that's great. Here's your sell side, now swept. Let's move these
Okay.
down. That's fine. So the original path I wanted to see was this one. We took out these lows, which is fine. So basically previous monthly low, that's going to be your first potential target. But yeah, this is pretty much what I want to see from here. And the targets where I'm going to take a bit of shares off is going to be into 26.30, between
Okay.
26 and 30. So yeah, 26.50 and let's say 30.3. I'll sell majority of my shares or about half, and then if we can get 50 plus, that would be amazing, but I wouldn't bet on it. I mean, not that I wouldn't bet on it because I do want to see it happen, just don't
Yeah.
stupidly bet on it. If you already got more than double
Oh no.
your money into here, like I said, manage, and
Yeah.
then if you can get that next leg or two, that's great, but definitely manage before that.
Yeah, I will.
So that's pretty much that. But if we do get the
Oh,
sales
yeah.
today, this
Thank you.
should be a big payday. So like I said, try to get positioned accordingly. You already have a few, great. Like I said, if you want to put some, weekly, bi-weekly, a little more monthly, that's your call. But look at GJ.
Yeah.
So GJ, nice move lower, and USD cat should hopefully continue pushing up. It's stuck up here. So let's see if we get some follow through on this new 12-minute.
Okay, I'll
And
go. Yeah.
GJ is giving us that follow through to the downside. So far so good.
Nice. Okay. I'll go check my orders and
Yeah, go for it.
yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in a little while.
Yeah, let me know if I
Bye.
can help with you.